Hiya YouTube, it's Glyn Jones here, my son Thomas. We represent Life Changing Journey. Today's video is about the ratio between fats, carbs and protein. What's the best ones to have, what the best amounts to have whilst trying to lose weight and keeping your muscle gains. Yes, hello again guys, thanks for joining us. Today's video is about the ratio between proteins, carbs and fats. What's the best ones to have when you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to hold on to the muscle that you've gained, which you've worked so hard in the gym to gain. You know what, the last thing you want to be doing is losing that muscle, you know, whilst dieting. It's inevitable that you will lose a bit, especially if you're dieting down really hard, but you know, you want to keep as much of that as you can. So we're just trying to work out which is the best ratio to have for fat loss and, like I say, keeping muscle. So there's so many ways of doing this. When you're going through three different cycles, if you want to gain weight, muscle weight, you know, there's a certain amount of calories that you need to be having, obviously, because you need to be in a surplus. But when you're actually trying to burn fat and preserve muscle gains, or at least keep your muscles that you've got and gain a little bit more, with extensive research that I've done and going by what we've been doing on our journey thus far, my suggestion would be to have 200 grams of protein. Now 200 grams of protein, it's normally a rule of thumb to have at least 1 gram of protein per body pound per pound of body weight. So that's normally the rule of thumb. Now the way I look at it is, if you're striving out to be a 200 pound physique, you're trying to get 200 pounds of muscle and without hardly any fat, if that's your game, that's your aim, then I would suggest to have 200 grams of protein until you get to that level. Now, per gram of protein there is 4 calories. So if you're having 200, you've got to work this out, you know, especially if you're trying to eat in a surplus because you're losing weight. So you have to work this out and you have to get it down to the T. So if you're having 200 grams of protein, you're going to have 800 calories for them 200 grams. We'll talk about the ratio, you know, when you're having 200 grams of protein, on how much fat is within that protein that you're eating. But if we just keep to these figures now, so we've got 200 grams of protein, which will give you 800 calories. And it's exactly the same with carbohydrates. You will have 4 calories per gram carbohydrates. So 200 grams of carbohydrates will also give you 800 calories. So far we're at 200 grams of protein and 200 grams of carbs. And then I would suggest having 45 grams of fats. And fats are slightly higher. You've got 9 calories in a gram of fat. So if you're having 405 grams of fat, you'll give, if you're having 45 grams of fat, you're going to get 405 calories. That will give you a total calorie count of 2005 calories. Now what I would suggest is to start off at that. Until, because you will lose weight, you'll start dropping weight and dropping weight, but then when you will come to some sort of plateau, then what you want to do is just drop your fats slightly. Probably bring your fats down, maybe 2 grams of fat each time, maybe 3 grams of fat even. Just bring it down to until you're steady. So if you do it over a course of say 2 or 3 weeks, so bring it down to 40 grams. And then what I would do then is I wouldn't touch your proteins at all. I'd keep the proteins at 200 grams all the time. I would do that and keep that at that. But manipulate your carbs and your fats. So I would drop your fats down to probably 40 grams eventually from 45. And then if you need to drop any further, depending on your goals, depending on how much weight you want to lose, I would probably manipulate your grams of carbohydrates. Maybe bring them down maybe to about 150 in the end. That's what I would do. But you don't want to do this all in one go. What you want to do is slow and steady. Start off, like I say, 200-245 ratio. Start off at that. And then, like I say, when you get to about 4 or 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, and you start slowing down on your weight loss and you're hitting a plateau, just tweak it a little bit and bring it down a touch more and tweak it again, but only tweak your carbohydrates and your fats. And I think that you'll be on a good road to losing weight and keeping it coming off. Yeah. And I think that would be sustainable as well. You should be able to live off of 2,000 calories. You should be able to drop them a little bit more and live off of them. But the best way to do it is make sure you've got good wholesome foods, which are good nutrient dense foods. The last thing you want to be doing is eating small amounts of food. Maybe, you know, the ratio would not be very good if you're eating lots of high fat foods and everything else. You just wouldn't get it in this ratio. So good high density nutrient dense foods, that's what you want. But yeah, that's what I would say. Now, going on to dieting, I will point out now that it doesn't matter really.
No, it doesn't matter really what diet you do. Like keto, I can't remember what the other one's
paleo.
Yeah, paleo.
Yeah, just
it doesn't matter what one you do.
No.
Would you be able to sustain that diet throughout your life, or for a very long period?
I think that's the question you must ask yourself.
Yeah, that's the question you should ask yourself. Can you sustain it?
No, because let me tell you now, guys, every single diet that's out there, you know, you've got so many different diets out there.
Yeah.
I've actually studied quite a few of these diets. You have, like Thomas said, you've got keto, you've got paleo, you know, you've got vegan, you know, intermittent fasting and all of that. You've got all of these, and they all work, and they all work really well. But can you sustain that for the rest of your life? This is the question you've got to ask yourself, because if you cannot sustain that for the rest of your life, you're not going to keep the weight off, and the weight will just pile up back on and some.
It'll just come on until you gain a lot more weight than you were at the beginning.
Exactly, that's what will happen. You'll just put that weight on and more and more.
Yeah.
You know, I think the key to success and sustainability is sustainability.
Yeah.
You know, this here, you should be able to, and I mean anybody should be able to eat 2,000 calories.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
Now, if you get the ratio right between carbs and proteins and your fats, you will be able to sustain it. Now, if you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to lose body fat, you're going to have to restrict somewhere, you know, and it's down to you where you want to restrict. What's best for you? What works best for you? Do you prefer to eat high fats? Do you prefer to eat high carbs? You know, it's the fats and the carbs you need to manipulate more than anything.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going in the gym trying to grow muscle or trying to keep muscle or maintain muscle. You know, if you're in the gym doing that, really you do need to keep your 200 grams of protein. You need to feed your muscles.
Yeah.
You need to recover your muscles. So it's important that you have that 1 gram of protein per 1 pound of body fat. It's so important for that. So manipulating your carbs and your fats is the way to go. Now that is down to your preference and what you can sustain for the rest of your life to be able to keep this on.
Yeah.
And also just keep your eye on your weight loss. If you're dropping weight too fast, it's a good idea to maybe go to maintenance.
Yeah.
You know, go to maintenance for a couple of weeks and then drop your calories again slightly, you know, but always keep in mind the 200-240 ratio, or 200-245, I beg your pardon, ratio. To keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I think that will do you in good stead. That should do you very well. It's working for me and Thomas. We haven't had to manipulate our grams of fat yet.
No.
We're keeping it at 45, which we're quite happy with.
Yeah, we are.
So I do believe that this will work for anybody. But like I say, everybody's different in terms of whether they like higher fat or higher carbs, either or, you know. But just remember, always remember, doesn't matter what diet you do, it's all about calories in versus calories out. That's the only way you're going to gain weight or lose weight. You know, if you're in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose weight. If you're in a calorie surplus, you're not going to lose weight, you're going to gain weight.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you're staying at maintenance, you're not going to do either.
No.
You're not going to gain weight and you're not going to lose weight. So yeah, I hope you guys find this very interesting, or have found this very interesting. I really do. We'll look out for some more videos to be able to give you on our experience and the research that we've done ourselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much again for joining us. We will see you on the next video, which is
Weigh in
on Sunday.
Yeah.
And hopefully we've lost some more weight. We should have. We'll keep into this ratio, and we'll tell you guys and show you guys exactly how it's working for us. So thank you again, guys. Please, if you could like and subscribe, leave us a comment if you're feeling generous.
Yeah.
That would help our channel out immensely. And we'll see you again on Sunday. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.